My name is Chuck Wagner. I work for Anco Sanitation Systems. We're the equipment vendor that sold these equipment to the care center here. So my job today is to go through the operation of the baler to show how it works and some of the safety features and the things to be aware of as you're operating the baler. So probably the first thing I want to go through is some of the safety features that are on the baler. First of all, you have a key switch that will shut the machine off if you need to during any time during the operation. You also have a stop button here that you can push in, and that will also stop the baler operation. This is a maintained stop button, which means it stays pushed in if you push it in. So if you come out here and you got the key in the right position, the on position, you're trying to start the baler and it won't work, make sure that that stop button is pulled out. Because if you don't, you're going to call me and I'm going to come out here and it's $200 for me to come out and pull the stop button out. So make sure you check that first, because we've done that a lot. So the stop button needs to be out. You have a door switch up here on the door that if the door is not closed, the machine will shut off. So during the operation, if for some reason cardboard hits the door while it's being compressed and it moves the door, sometimes it may move it enough so that the baler will stop. And that's because this switch is not made properly. The door got raised a little bit or something happened that made the machine shut off. You also have a switch back here behind this plate right here, which is the switch for the big door on the bottom. We call it the bail door. If that isn't shut all the way, sometimes if you don't have the turnbuckle tight on the side here, sometimes when it starts to compress the cardboard, it may want to push that door out just a little bit, and the machine will shut off then also. So you want to make sure that this door is down, this door is in tight, the stop button's pulled out, and then you should be able to start making a bail. Other switch on the front here is for manual raise. This is for when you're going to eject the bail, and the other one is manual lower, so that you can, it'll manually bring the blade down if you want to compress the load manually and not in the auto mode. So to begin, this one already has cardboard in it. Hopefully whoever did this put flat cardboard in the very bottom. Before you put any cardboard in, you always want to put flat cardboard in the bottom. There's grooves in the bottom, which I can't open the door now because it's got cardboard in it, but you'll see there's grooves in the bottom where you're going to push the wire through. So we'll go through that in a little bit as we go through the ejection part. Anyway, so flat cardboard in the bottom, then you just start stacking cardboard up in there. You don't have to flatten the cardboard out like this cardboard is here unless that's what you want to do. Sometimes it's better just to throw boxes in there that aren't flattened out. What will happen sometimes is if you start putting flat cardboard in here, sometimes the load can shift because all the cardboard's flat, so as the blade's coming down, it might, sometimes I've seen it where it'll push the cardboard out enough to where it can push this loading door out or bend it. So if you put it in there, just make sure you put it in there evenly and that you're careful when you put it in there. So you're going to just, once you put the flat cardboard on the bottom, you're going to fill the charge chamber up. You'll shut the door. You just pull the handle out and pull it down. You don't need to slam it, just pull it down gently all the way to the bottom, all the way shut. And then you'll come over here and you're going to turn the key till it starts, let up on the key, and it'll go through an automatic cycle. Okay, so that was a complete cycle, automatic cycle of the compression and the full stroke of the baler. You'll find how this here is, you have some memory in the cardboard. So as you start to get, as the cardboard starts to get deeper or higher in here, you'll see that sometimes it'll start to raise up. As the blade comes up, the cardboard will tend to follow it. So you get a little bit of memory, but that's normal. So now we'll go through, I guess, when you have a full bale. So we'll shut the door. When you get a full bale, this has a full bale light on it right here on the front of the panel. When that full bale lights up, that means you have a full bale. There's an arrow you can see on the press head up here, that when that arrow basically won't get past the opening here, that's when you have a full bale. When the blade is coming down, if it shifts before it gets to that arrow, then that's where you have a full bale. At that point, this light should come on. When this light comes on, it should stop in that position where it's at, okay? And then you can tie off your bale. So at this point, when you got a full bale, I'm going to bring it down to right where it's a full bale. So right there's a full bale. You can see the light's on now because I stopped the bale, stopped the press head in the position where a full bale would be at. So right now you're indicating that you have a full bale. So at this point you wouldn't want to put any more cardboard in it. What you would do is you would raise it up one more time when this light comes on, and then you want to put some more flat cardboard on the top of the bale. That way the grooves, and I'll show those, you can kind of see them in here. I'll bring it up a little bit so you can see it, where the wire's going to go through. So that's where you want to make sure you have those troughs or the guides there, the grooves need to be clear so you can get your wire through to tie off your bale. So at this point you got your press heads down, you've got your bale compressed. So now what you're going to do is you're going to tie off your bale. So you're going to come over here, and I'm not going to open it because it's full of cardboard. When you come up here, you'd raise the top door up, you'd open up the bottom door by the turnbuckle here, you turn the turnbuckle until the clamp here is released. You'd open up this door here, and then you're going to get 6 pieces of wire. Your wire looks like this. It's got a loop on one end, and then it's just a straight end on the other end. You can see right there, okay? So what you're going to do is now you got your door open, you got your bales exposed, but there's no wires on it. So what you're going to do is you got these grooves you can see in here on the bottom of the press head. You'll have a tool here that you can use, and what this tool is for is to push through that groove to the back of the baler and punch hole through the cardboard, because what will happen is cardboard will creep up to along the back of the blade, and you can't push that wire through unless you open up the hole. So that's what this tool here is for. You push it in that groove all the way to the back. It may get a little resistance. Just push it through the cardboard and punch some holes through the cardboard in the back. Once you've done that, on all 6 of the slots that are on here, there's 3 on each side here, and then there's 3 more over there. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to push your wire through. So I push the bare end through it that's not looped. You'll stick and you're going to push it right through, all the way through the back of the baler. It'll stick out through the back. I didn't punch this through, so it won't go through. But it'll go through and stick out the back. You're going to do that all 6 times on here, and then you're going to go on the back. You're going to take that wire and loop it through the back in the same slot in the back, and it'll come right out the front, okay? So once it comes out the front, now you got both ends of the wire sticking out, and you're going to take the blank end, you're going to stick it through the loop, just like that, and you're going to pull it tight, and then you're going to take and you're going to bend it around like that on the loop, and then just wrap it around itself a whole bunch of times. And once you do that, it will not come apart. So you're going to do that to all 6 wires just like that, okay? Once you've done all 6 wires and your door's open, now you're ready to eject the bale. So what you're going to do is you're going to get a pallet and you're going to lay it down right in front on the ground in front of the baler. And then you're going to come over here and you're going to put this to manual raise. First you got to turn it on. You're going to pull your stop button out, then you're going to turn it on, and it will start. I have to open this door first. Once you open that door, then you're going to turn this and the baler will start, and then you can manually raise it by using this button here. It'll raise. So that's what you'll do. It'll raise up and then it will eject the bale. So now we're going to walk around to the back and I'll show you how you attach the chains to eject the bale. All right. So back here in the back of the baler, you've got 2 chains here, and they have a hook on them, just like this right here. And if you look in the back of the baler, you'll see on the back of the press there's a little tab sticking out that has a slot on it. You'll see on this here that there's like a round bar on here. You'll take that and you'll hook that on that tab that's here in the back, and there's a slot in it that it fits right into. You're going to do that on both of these. Okay, so once you've done that, your door's open, everything is open in the front, you got your pallet on the ground, then you're going to go around to the front, and you're going to start it, you're going to raise it and eject the bale. What happens is these chains that are here on this here, they'll tighten up and it'll start to lift that bale and it'll tip it out. As it tips it out, then eventually it'll get high enough where it'll just fall right onto your pallet. Okay, so once it's on the pallet, you'll just get a forklift or however you're going to move these with a pallet jack or however you're going to move them, move that out of the way. Now you're clear. Now you're going to start all over again. You're going to come back, you're going to shut your bale door, the big door on the bottom. You're going to lay some flat cardboard down, and you're going to shut the upper door, and you got to run it through one cycle before you can put any cardboard in it. What'll happen is these chains are going to be up here somewhere because now the blade is all the way up. So you're going to have to go through and run it through one cycle. When it comes down with no cardboard in it, these things here will come down. They'll be coming down and then they'll hit the back of here, and these will catch this keeper right here, and then it'll drop them out just like that. So you always want to make sure that that happens, because you don't want to have these chains attached while you're trying to make a bale. First of all, they'll get in the way of making the bale, and eventually if you don't, it'll make them tight enough where you can break the chains or do damage to the baler. So you always want to make sure that these things here are down like this when you're making a bale. Otherwise you'll have issues, like I said, where you could do damage to the baler or at least break the chains. So then you're able to eject the bale. So we'll go back around to the front now. So like I said, when you get all done with making the bale and it's ejected out, you come out and you're going to shut all your doors. You're going to run it through a cycle. Okay, something where I don't have shut right here. Oh, I know, because it's got the bale. Okay. So once that bale light comes on, you have to manually operate it. One thing that I want to show you, I got it in this position here, is there's a limit switch right here on the press head. And this limit switch is what allows it to, when you're in the auto mode, when it goes down, starts to come back up and it raises the door as the blade's coming back up. That's what allows it to do that. So this is another safety feature here. So if this thing's coming up and the door starts to open and the baler shuts off, then for some reason either there's a piece of cardboard stuck in here or something is not allowing this switch to be made. So it's just another thing you can kind of help troubleshoot if something happens. So when it's coming up, if the door just starts to open and then it shuts off, that means this switch here is not made. And like I told you, there's this switch here. So then it's hitting this limit switch here and it's going to shut the machine off because it's telling us there's something wrong. I'm going to bring this all the way up. Okay, it'll come up and automatically shut off. So now you're ready to start loading it again to go through the whole cycle. Start loading, compressing until you get a full bale. Then you eject the bale and you start all over again. So just to review a couple things on it, you have the safety features, the key switch, stop button, door switch here. You have a door switch down here, and also that door switch that's on the loading door that I showed you when I opened the door. So those are just some of the safety features that are on it. Other than that, maintenance-wise, a little bit of grease on the turnbuckle over here, the threads that are on the turnbuckle, maybe a little bit of grease or something in here in the guides for the door. Other than that, that's pretty much all the maintenance there is. If there is a leak, you're going to see it because you're going to see a puddle somewhere. But these things usually don't leak. They're pretty bulletproof. So that's pretty much it as I can think of as far as operation of the baler. So we've been on the baler, now we're going to move to the trash compactor. Trash compactor does exactly what it says. It compacts your trash. Anything you put in there, it's going to smash it and destroy it. So you want to be careful what you put in there. Make sure what you're putting in there you want to throw away, because if you aren't careful, you can throw away things that you wish you didn't, because it will destroy them. So anyway, just go through some of the safety features on this also. You also have a key switch here. Oh, could you get the key out of the baler? You have a key switch here, and then you have a stop button here. The same thing as on the baler. It will stop the machine, and it's a maintained stop button. So always make sure that is pulled out whenever you are operating the compactor. You have a gauge here that will indicate when the compactor is getting full. It's multicolored. It's green, yellow, orange, and then red. When it gets to right at the top, which is between the orange and the red, that means the compactor is close to being full. So at that point, you would want to call the hauler to come pick it up and to dump it. If it ever gets into the red, that means you're full and you're not going to put any more trash in it, and the compactor will probably shut down when it gets to that full point. So anyway, this has a key switch here. The key switch is a push button also. So what you do is you put the key in, and it only goes in a certain way. Make sure I get in there. So it just goes in there, and then you turn the key. When it's in where you can put it in, you can't push the button. If you turn the key, then you can push the button, and the compactor will start. The blade will go out. It will shift and then come back, and then come all the way back to the back position, and then it will go out again. This one's set for 2 strokes. It'll go out and come back twice. Oh, it's set for 3 strokes. Okay, so this one is actually set for 3 strokes. So like I said, you want to be careful when you're throwing stuff in there that you make sure you're throwing in there what you want to throw away. In case you find something in there, you see something in there that you realize should not be in there, what you can do is you can hit the stop button, and then the machine will stop, pull the stop button back out, and then you can start it and then push the reverse button. That's the black button down here on the bottom. That will reverse the blade. It'll come back and then shut off. And then you can get in there and pull out something if you saw something that you didn't want thrown away. This has a gate on the front of it here. Has a latch there. If you pull this, the gate will open. So if you have bulkier stuff that you want to throw away, that's too heavy to lift over and throw in, then you can open the gate and you can throw it in this way also. If this gate is open, the compactor will not operate because it has a safety switch on it that will not allow it to operate with the door open. So you just want to make sure the door is shut. Once the door is shut, then you can continue operation of the compactor. Biggest thing to watch is when you're using it is to watch the gauge. Because if it starts to get full, you're going to want to let somebody know that it's getting full and it needs to be dumped. Because you can only put so much in it. And eventually they will get full where you can't put anything more into it. A couple of things to look for are just like you say, being sure you throw away some things that you're not worried about, or something there that you're not worried about getting destroyed. And then just watching for leaks, making sure it's operating properly. Other than that, the compactor is pretty simple compared to the baler. It's just throwing material in there and then pushing the button to start it. One thing you want to be careful of is you don't just fill up the charge chamber here, this hopper. Make sure when you throw stuff in there, just start it. Let it go through a cycle and operate. You'll get a much better compaction rate in the compactor, and you'll also won't have a problem with trash bridging. Sometimes you'll get trash that'll bridge above the blade. The blade will go back and forth, and the trash doesn't drop because it gets bridged up. And that's because people have put way too much trash in there before they operated it. So you throw some stuff in there, just push the button and start it and operate it. That's the best thing to do. Other than that, that's pretty much it on the compactor.